Punters, welcome back to another racing preview ahead of the weekend. We've got some fantastic racing ahead. We've got Caulfield on Saturday. We've also got the Rosehill meeting, and also we're going to be looking at the Lightning Stakes at Morphettville as well in this preview. So the first one here, we'll be looking at Caulfield, and then also the best from the Lightning Stakes. So I'll just be looking at that meeting very quickly. So moving into Caulfield tomorrow. Obviously, Bletchingly Stakes Day, we're lined up to be seeing Mystic Journey return, but when we've obviously seen that horse will take a few weeks off for us and be back in a couple of weeks' time. So that really does leave it pretty skinny for Caesar in the main race. So we'll get to that very shortly. So we're looking at a soft 5 tomorrow. A little bit of rain will be about today, so I'd say we'd be working that soft range. So I've done the form around the soft conditions. So looking at the first race, 1400 metres for the 2-year-olds. The speed map here, looking at Can't Be Done. I'd say Spirit Medium Lobs just in behind, maybe box seats. I'm Elegant will be quite relatively forward, maybe midfield. I'd say Igniting and Noble Fight might be able to get forward from outside barriers. Look, race sets up pretty nicely for Can't Be Done off the inside barrier, but my real query on it is the 1400 metres, whereas I know this horse will definitely get the 1400 metres, and it's number 7 Spirit Medium. I love the way this horse won last start at Bendigo. I thought it travelled really well in behind the speed and really showed a good bit of turn of foot to really put its rivals away and win nicely there. That was over the 1300 metres. Form coming out of Bendigo races, especially for the 2-year-olds, recently been quite good, so I'm happy to take that sort of form line. And the form out of that race already has proved to be quite good with a couple of subsequent winners and good runnings from horses coming out of that race. So I'm happy to have it on top, number 7 Spirit Medium, ahead of number 1 Can't Be Done. So just a bit of a query about that 1400 metres. I know it's very sharp over the sprinting distances of 1000 to 1200. Just a bit of a query up to 1400 for me. So I'm going to have it in for second. In for third, I like number 5 Forever Loud. I thought this horse chased home pretty nicely last time out at Caulfield in the Star Surprise race, and that was also in the Can't Be Done race. Wasn't too far off it. No, it could potentially go past it this time around. Just not too sure where it might lob from barrier 6. That's a little bit of a concern for me. I can see it maybe being without a bit of cover, but if we can find that cover, it'll definitely charge home nicely. So I'd give that horse a bit of a chance in for third. Even fourth, horse a bit of odds here. Number 10 Score down the bottom. I think this horse has been coming out some good rating races as of late. On debut, it was in the excused race, so I was on a heavy. Then it was only 1.5 lengths off Mayowsy, who of course failed during the week at Sandown, but I still think the form line of that's pretty good. Then it finished 2.5 lengths behind Paris, and it finished off really nice on that occasion. I was really caught with that, and I think 1400 metres is just going to suit this horse perfectly, so I'm happy to have it in for fourth. So recapping the numbers on the first, I like number 7 Spirit Medium on top to beat number 1 Can't Be Done. In for third, I like number 5 Forever Loud, and in for fourth, number 10 Score. Race number 2, 1100 fillies and mares race here. We're looking at the speed map here. We've got most of the speed drawn from the outside barrier, so Raven Blaze will get forward and find the rail. So Miss Norway might sit on its outside, Miss Mo and I Remember You. I'm not too sure whether they'll try and take on the lead or if they might tuck in behind. But I do think this race just rates perfectly for number 1 Miss Norway. I think stepping back in grade here, coming out from a weight for age Group 3 race. Of course, was the Sir John Monash Stakes, only 3.1 lengths off Oakdale. Was in some good handy class there. Prior to that was 2.2 lengths off Miss Iona, who meets here again. But I just think that fourth up, this horse is ready to fire, and I think this it really maps well in this race. I'm happy to have it on top to beat number 3 Miss Iona for the reasons I just said. This horse did beat it a few starts ago. That was of course, and it was a really good win at Caulfield over the 1200 metres. Steps back in extra 100 metres, which is a little bit of a query for me. It's the only reason I don't have it on top. I prefer it at the further distance rather than the 1200 metres. But last time out, it was pretty good closing in behind Miss Vixen as well as only half length off there. So it's also going to be around the mark again, I believe. So I've got him for second. In for third, I like number 1, I Remember You. I think this horse coming across from Tassie will give a good side. Didn't miss a top 2 finish at all last preparation. It had a second behind Twitchy Frank, which is in a Fillies Mares Group 3 down there in Tasmania at Launceston. And then it beat Ocean Deep at Sand and Lakeside Track. And Ocean Deep went on to win a couple of handy races after that. So I think this horse is quite a decent galloper. I think it'll be in the top 3 finish, so I've got him for third. With Siggy Card taking on board Scott Brunton's runner. And in for fourth, I do like number 7, I Am Queen. I think this horse returned really nicely last time out at winning at Bendigo. That was on a heavy. Doesn't mind the soft track though. Soft track stats are pretty good. I think that horse is just back to a bit of form at the 1100 metres, and if it could do something again, sit in behind the speed, it'll really prove pretty hard to beat also. So liking to have number 1, Miss Norway on top. If a second, I like number 3, Miss Ino. For third, number 4, I Remember You. And for fourth, number 7, I Am Queen. Race number 3, 1600 metres, benchmark 78. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Campo Basso will be forward. Life of Waldo will be pressing forward. Strike Force usually gets forward. So Royal Ace might try and find a spot from barrier 15. Bit of a tricky gate for it. Parallel World might use the inside barrier to hum up on the inside. For me, there's a lot of similar form lines here, and I'm looking to go elsewhere. And I like number 10, Humboldt Coronet, at a bit of odds here. I think this horse might be ready to fire first up over the mile. First up last prep was really good chase behind Paramus Boy at Mooney Valley, and then it went and was 3.8 lengths off Steel Prince. We know it's Steel Prince we want to do. I just think this horse has a little bit of X factor on these, and I think it might just be ready to fire first up here. Over the 1600 metres, so I'm happy to have it on top. I just also like where it maps. I just think it will be able to be in a nice spot. Michael Walker can decide what he does from barrier 2 with a lot of speed around him. So I just think it'll just get a really nice run of the race, and it'll be really hard to beat. So I've got it on top. Look, and also the conditions, not too much of a worry there. I think it'll get through the soft track. It hasn't really had touch rain affected. It's only done it once on one occasion, didn't place, but I'm happy to have it as a bit of a chance at $14 odds to beat number 5, Royal Order, who just has a bit of a tricky gate. But I mean, that was a really good run last time out behind Reykjavik, who was of course really unlucky last week at Flemington. That was over the mile. Prior to that, it was a really good win on the soft going at Bendigo over the 1300 metres. Third up, I think this horse will be right to fire once again, stepping back in class. So I'm happy to have it in for second. If it didn't draw a sticky go, I would have had it on top. If for third, I do like number 3, Lure Me In. I think this horse has just been looking for the mile. It was a pretty good run last time out over 400. Did its best work late, really hit the line well behind Special Diva. So I'm happy to have it in for third up coming into this race. In for fourth, I do like number 11, Ballet Master, who gets Damien Oliver on board. This horse doesn't know how to run a bad race, so and it was really good last time out, but barrier 9 for me. I'm just not sure where it might end up in the run. I think I could see getting a good run, just being outside, about a swoop late, but just for me, just couldn't put it on top, or liked a couple ahead of it, so I'm happy to have it in for fourth, but I still think it'll run a good race. So just to recap, number 10, Humboldt Current on top for me. In for second, I like number 5, Royal Order with Mark Zara in the saddle. In for third, number 3, Lure Me In. And in for fourth, number 11, Ballet Master. I've got a bit of a watch for number 2, Desert Path, who is Chris Wall's horse. I think this horse got a bit of ability. I just want to wait and see till it gets up to the 2,000 metres. So I'm interested to see how it runs first up as well. Might be one to Black Book, depending on its run on the weekend. Race number 4 on the card, a 2,400 metre open race. This is the Danny Barrett Vobus Gold Stayers race. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Kalala will be relatively forward off the inside barrier. I'd say Sasko will find the lead. Geodesic and Suppressor will be towards the speed also. So a little bit of speed in this race, but I do think it'll just suit nice for number 1, Suppressor. I like the step back in class here for Kieran Maher and Eustace team, who have been absolutely flying recently. It was really good in the Grafton Cup a couple of weeks ago behind Sacred Day. Prior to that, it was only 2.3 lengths off iGrain. So I just think that form, you couple that up with a Group 2 7th, 5 lengths behind 60's Groove, and 0.8 length behind Valak at Morphettville in Group 3. I think just that superior form to this. I think it shows anything up to its past few runs, it'll win this race. Number 1, Suppressive, Mark Zara in the saddle. So happy to have it on top, ahead of number 3, Fanciful Toff, the other Mar Eustace runners. I think they can quinella this race. Bit disappointing last time out behind Caulfield, really dropped out of the race there, but prior to that, the form was really good. Comes back onto the soft going, which I think is a lot better for it. This horse probably prefers the good to soft going rather than the heavy, so happy to have it in for second. If they leave them late up front, I'd say number 2, Sasko, might give a really good sight and give a good kick. Last time out, it was only just literally last week. It's got the 7-day backup. It was really Fought on bravely, was just overcome late by the Swoopers, and Lord Belvedere, of course, charged over the top of them late. But I thought it was a really good run on that occasion. This horse doesn't have the great soft going stats, but I do think it'll be in the top 3 finish, especially if it's left alone out front. If a fourth, look, if they overdo it out front, I think this horse has a bit of chance at odds, and it's number 10 at Lemon Splice. I think this horse paid nice odds. It was really disappointing last time out as a beaten favourite at Wagga. But prior to that, it was a pretty good win at Aubrey, and I know the form doesn't necessarily stack up there, but I just think if they put the pace on with 55.5 kilos, this horse might just be able to run on from the back. So that's just a bit of a query. For me, the top 3 in the market are the top 3, and I'll be extremely surprised if anything else finishes in there. So just recap the numbers on the fourth. Number 1, Suppressor on top. To beat number 3 is Fanciful Top. And for third, I like number 2, Sasco. And for fourth, number 10, Lemon Splice. Bit of a throw at the stumps in case they overdo it out front. Race number 5, 2400 metre, 3-year-old race here. I'd say that Tabby Run will find the front along with Prolongo. Great Khan will be prominent. I'd say On Done Dreamy and Vacant Block might utilise their inside barriers to get forward also. But don't see a whole lot of speed in this race, and I do think that Tabby Run will be hard to beat. But for me, number 3, Ripcord, this was really a horse on the rise. I was extremely impressed with its win last time out on the synthetic at Pakenham. Prior to that, I had a really good win at Hastings over the 2,100 metres. This horse will definitely run the distance, and that, for me, is the big tick on it that I have over Tabby Run. And I just think, this horse got a bit of upside, bit of scope for improvement. Luke Curry in the saddle, I just think it appeals really nice odds at $4.60. So I'm happy to have it on top to beat number 2, Tabby Run, who, if they leave it alone out front, will give a really good sight. Just a bit of a query over the 2,400 metres. Never run this distance before. But its last 2 wins at Caulfield have just been ultra impressive. You're looking at 3.5 lengths being Dogmatic and 2.3 lengths being Aristocratic Misses, who was in a bit of form at the time. So I really do like the form coming in. Just a bit of a query at the 2,400 metres. So I've got number 2, Tabby running for second. In for third, I like number 6, Reflect the Stars. I think this horse was just a bit unlucky last time out. It was only 0.4 length off, not a single cent. And not a single cent definitely had the better run of the race. So I think this horse can turn the tables on it. Michael Poy in the saddle gets 2 kilo claim, but only be carrying 52 kilos, so peel's pretty good in the weights. Only 52 kilos for a horse that nearly beat the not a single cent, who has to carry 60. So for me, the really appealing number 6, Reflect the Stars. In for fourth, number 5, Wealthy Wolf, similar reasons. Was only 0.2 of length off, not a single cent last time out. Really charged home from the back. Gets the same weight, whereas not a single cent jumps up to 60 from 58.5 that it ran last time. So I think that weight swing will favour these last 2 runners. So number 3, just to recap the numbers, number 3, Ripcord on top. So just think that's got scope for improvement. I know it will run the distance also. The second, number 2, Tabby Run. In the third, number 6, Reflect the Stars. And in the fourth, number 5, Wealthy Wolf. Bit of an open race, that one, to be honest. I really do think that those top 4 in any order can be finishing in there. I'd say I'm not discounting not a single cent. Just think the weight swing and having to carry 60 kilos this time out might be a bit of a factor into bringing its other rivals into play. Race number 6, 600 metre, 3-year-old race here. We're looking at the speed map, and I'd say that Santelmo Fuego will be forward. I'd say Taxu and Wildfire will also find the top. For me, this horse is one of my bets of the day, but have it as my best value of the day. It's number 6, Wildfire, paying $17. Now, this horse has been saved this race. It ran 3 weeks ago at Sandown. It was extremely impressive there. If you had a chance, go back and watch that race. It was 3 wide, no cover, and it still put them to the sword. I know it's a big step up in class, but for me, that run was almost too good to be true. That was a sensational win, and I'm just happy to have it on top here. I think it's going to map absolutely perfectly. It should get an easy time in the speed, and I think it's got the measure of the other leaders. And I just, that win was just too good to be true for me, and I'd love to have it on top at $17 odds. I think that's very appealing. I know it's taking on better opposition, but that run was just that good. I've got to put it on top. If a second, I'll do like number 9, Benetway. I'll have a lot of time for this horse, so I tipped it on top when it won at Sandown at the Hillside track, and then it came out last week, and a few weeks ago. That was on the 6th of July, and it closed pretty nice behind the Great Duchess. it was a good finish to that race. The 600 here again appeals at the second time crack at the distance. I just don't think the speed will be on this time round for it to charge in from the back. So I'm happy to have it in for second. In for third, I do like number 8, Zargos. I think this horse second up here will improve greatly off that Flemington run. And of course, beat Benatoire at home and it's paying bigger odds. So a bit surprising that. And I do think that this horse will improve second up. Second up stats are really good. It's had a win and a third place from 2. Soft track stats are pretty good as well. So I think it maps get a good run. So happy to have it in for third. And in for fourth, I like number 7, Collectible. I think this horse is a bit over the odds also. I thought it was run last week by Twilight Rain. Was really good. It was eye-catching. Came from near last to finish 5th. Only 3.9 lengths off Twilight Run. Prior to that, it was it beat the other 2 that I mentioned home when it was finished by the Great Duchess. But it just has that little bit of a weight swing and it has barrier 11. That's the only thing query I have on it for me. Otherwise, it would be in second if it had a better barrier to run off. So recap the numbers. Number 6, Wildfire on top. Very confident to have this one on top at $17. Think that's a really good price to take. And for second, number 9, Benatoire. And for third, number 8, Zargos. And for fourth, number 7, Collectible. Race number 7, this is the long fine plate for the 3-year-old fillies over 1,200 metres. A lot of these similar form lines coming out of the same races. And, really interesting race and very hard to split. But I think I might have found one that really is appealing. So just to look at the speed map, say pick up the pieces or find the top. Newsgirl might be able to follow it along. Tell me, I can see it being 1 out, 1 back perhaps, or getting a bit of cover. So it's due to get a good race. So Street Icon will try and ping from the outside and get prominent, while Tony will be quite prominent. So a lot of these will look for the lead, as will Algodon Miss from the outside barrier. So lots of speed in this race. And as such, I do think that this horse will be sitting midfield and be able to charge over the top and late. It's number 1, Tell Me, for the Hawks team. It's paying really nice odds at $8. Thought its run last time out was pretty luckless and charged late to hit the line well behind Voila. Prior to that, it was pretty good, only 2 lengths off Wagner. It's been safe. This hasn't run since the 29th of June, and it's been scratched. Was scratched last week in the Sylvia's Mother race for this. I just think that it's got a real good chance to win this time round. I'm happy to take it at the $8 odds. As I said, I do think they'll overdo out front. And number 2, Voila, will be able to charge home from the back. It was pretty good last time out, beaten by Gododin. And prior to that, it was really good charging home to win at Caulfield over Sweet Jazz. And for me, I just think that they will overdo it again here, and I see it charging in from the back and finishing off nicely. Another horse that will come on from the back is number 9, Sweet Jazz. Just has barrier 1, so it's going to need a little bit of luck to come out from that inside barrier. But it was a little bit disappointing last time out when they rid it forward of the speed, just standing behind Gododin and Street Icon. But prior to that, it was two runs for 2 seconds were really good, and I'm happy to have it in for third, based on the fact that I think they'll really hum along this race and be able to come on from the back. If for fourth, I do like this horse, number 6, Street Icon. Look, I think they're going to overplay it up the front. And, I mean, obviously, it's a really tricky barrier. But it was a really good run behind Gododin last time out. I was on it. I had it as one of my best values of the day. And I was extremely disappointed that it just got nosed out. But it was a really good run. And it would improve second up. Just for me, I can see it getting trapped wide. And I'm not too keen to play at it. And look, another horse I've left out, number 5, Pick Up the Pieces. It's Louis German's 3 kilo claim brings it down to 53. And first up, it has had a win from it. And its recent jump out was really good as well. It was really sharp. But for me, bit of a query for me. I'm happy to just to leave it out this time around with all that speed in the race. Might need this first up run. I'll be looking at back at second up. So just recap the numbers on race number 7. Number 1, Tell Me on top to beat number 2, Voila. In for third, I like number 9, Sweet Jazz with Dwayne Dunn in the saddle. And in for fourth, number 6, Street Icon. Really open race, as I mentioned, that race. Really looking forward to that. Now, here we are, the Bletchingly, the Weight for Age Group 3 race, over 1,200 metres. Looking at the speed map here, I'd say Jungle Edge will hum along as he always does. Scales of Justice will be forward. I'd say Cliff's Edge will be quite forward as well. As True Excelsior might just sit in behind them. But for me, look, this horse, number 6, Caesar, is one of the better 3-year-olds going around right now. And that first up win was very good. It was extremely well backed as my best bet of the day. Back in the 22nd of June, so it's had a big spell between runs, been really lightly raced, but I think this horse is just going to fire here at second up. Doesn't mind the soft track. If anything, it probably does a little bit better in the wet conditions. So I'm happy to have it on top. Michael Walker gets the opportunity to ride this one home in the Group 3, and I just think it's just extremely hard to beat. I really can't see much beating it. So I'm happy to have it on top to beat number 3 Cliff's Edge, who obviously it's more ideal distance range over further, but it can perform first up over 1200 metres. Has run at this distance 5 times for 3 wins, and first up its stats aren't bad either. It's had 4 first ups runs for a win and a second. So, and it doesn't mind the soft track either. So I think this horse will be in the finish. Number 3 Cliff's Edge. Another horse that I'm interested in, number 1 Scales of Justice. This horse is a really talented horse. Looking at 2.8 lengths off Santana Lane in 2017. That was, of course, back in October. That was in a Group 1 race. It was 2.5 lengths off Redkirk Warrior up the straight at Flemington. Then we're looking at some Ascot form. Last preparation, it was 2.5 lengths off Gadding and Wait for Age Group 2. And there was 2 lengths off Durandal in a Group 3. So this horse is really up to this. First up stats are excellent. It's had 8 starts first up for 2 wins, 4 seconds and a third. Soft track stats are excellent. 2 starts for 2 wins. This horse, look, the jump out was a little bit average recently, but I think this horse is massively over the odds. So if it shows up to its best, it'll go really close to beating Caesar. So I've got Eva third, massive career on it as a runner. Even fourth, light number 8 True Excelsior. This horse been forgotten a little bit here. This horse went over New Zealand, ran in a couple of Group 1s over there. It was only 2.2 lengths off Melody Bell, who came over here in the autumn for the Queensland Carnival. And also has a 5 lengths off Enzo's Lane, Group 1 over there. So this horse is a group performer, and look at 1.1 lengths off Whispering Brook at Flemington. It was absolutely flying at that time in a Group 3. So this horse is up to this company. First up, Little Query and over 1200 metres, but I think that'll be in the finish, and I think $34 odds is ridiculous for that horse. So recap the numbers on race number 8. I like number 6 Caesar on top to beat number 3 Cliff's Edge. In for third, number 1 Scales of Justice, and in for fourth, number 8 True Excelsior. Cracking Bletchingly Stakes race. I think we're going to see the best of Caesar. This horse is on the rise, and I'm happy to take $1.85 about it. Race number 9, 400 metre open race here to close off the card. Look at the speed back here. I'd say Aussie Choice will try and find the front. Sahiti will be prominent. French Girl and Romancer might try and find spots from outside barriers. I'd say Caulfield is lined up today at the Madura Cup, so he could take that out of the speed battle. So Travis, my friend, will be quite close to the lead as well. And I can see Travis, my friend, getting the perfect run, so I'm happy to have it on top. Number 7, Travis, my friend. Backed it a few weeks ago. I was really keen to have it on top at Caulfield. Sorry, I didn't have it on top. I had it in the numbers, but I did say that if there was some scratchings, I'd be more keen to put it closer up. And in the end, the scratchings came, and it went around $60 odds and absolutely put them away. And beat Organza really well. Of course, came out, got a second the other week. So the form's really good behind it. I see it being mapped to get the perfect run, so I've got to have it on top. And the soft going is absolutely perfect for this horse. It loves the wet track. So happy to have it on top to beat number 2 Sahiti, who its second up stats are just fantastic, really eye-catching. 7 starts for 4 wins and a second. Its first up run up the straight behind Malibu Style. It carried 60 kilos on that occasion and was really impressive behind Malibu Style. And I just think that was a great run. The soft comes back it's on the soft track again, which it does enjoy. It's had 4 wins and a placing from 8 starts on the soft going. Terra Nugent gives it a 3 kilo claim, brings it down to 57.5 kilos. So I'm really happy to have this horse in for second. In for third, I like number 3, I Thought So. Now, this horse has been a bit disappointing this prep, but looking at last start, it was in the weight, of course, Sir John Monash behind Oakdoor. And it was okay coming on from the back. It sort of finished, but that was a bit of a bunch finish there. They all finished quite close to each other. And I think this horse, if it shows up to its best, it could really give this race a bit of a shake. And I've seen it's been reasonably steady in the market. So I'm happy to have it in for third. And in for fourth, I like number 6, Sylpheed. I think this horse will improve off that run last start at Caulfield. And I'm happy to have it in for fourth. And look, I didn't put Romancer, who's one of the other favourites in the race, on top. I just don't like the White Barrow. I'm not sure where it's going to land from out there, so I'm happy to leave it out. So recapping the numbers on the last at Caulfield, over the 1400 metres, we're looking at number 7, Travis, my friend, on top. In for second, number 2, Sahiti. In for third, number 3, I Thought So. And in for fourth, number 6, Sylpheed. We've also got a big watch on number 10, French Girl. This horse going around at massive odds. It was disappointing last time out behind Serious Suspect, but its recent jump out was really impressive, and I was looking for return back to the form that it showed against Columbia at Morphettville. I suggest it could run a better race here, so I'm not willing to leave it out of the chances. If you're playing quaddies or first fours or trifectas, I'll be having it in the mix. So there's my look at Caulfield. So just to have a look at the best bets of the card and the values. For me, best bet of the card, I like to have number 7, Travy, my friend, on top in race number 9. I think it'll be extremely hard to beat the way it maps and the form lines behind it. Number 6, Caesar, in race number 8. I know it's only $1.85, but I think that's value. Me personally, the lowest rock bottom I'd go is $1.60, but I'd still be relatively keen to put it on top. So number 6, Caesar, in race number 8, as one of the other best bets of the card. And I also like the chances of number 1, Suppressor, in race number 4. So race number 4, so number 1, Suppressor at $2.60. Race number 8, number 6, Caesar at $1.85. And race number 9, number 7, Travy, my friend. Now, the best value plays of the day for me, I like I do like the chances of number 6, Wildflyer, in race number 6. So that was race number 6. Number 6, Wildflyer, paying $17 odds. I think that horse for me is one of the better bets of the day, in my opinion. It's paying $17 odds. I'm really happy to have it as a value bet. And race number 7, number 1, Tell Me, paying $8. I think it's been safe this race and is going to really give it a good shake at $8 odds. So they're my best bets and value bets of the day. Now, looking across to Morphettville, looking at my best there. We're looking, first of all, I'll just say that the track, we're looking at a soft 6 at this stage. First race is a hurdle race. I'm going to skip that one. Move into race number 3. And I like, number 3, D-Force will be hard to beat. I think $1.55 is rock bottom odds, but this horse has shown a lot of ability in its jump out. So if you would like to multi it up, perhaps with Caesar in the Bletchingly, I think you can get a good payout there. So I'm happy to have number 3, Deep Force, on top in race number 3. I think it'd be really hard to beat if you... Look, I wouldn't suggest backing $1.55, but perhaps putting into Caesar in the Bletchingly, that might be a good way to go. Looking at race number 4 here, I do like the chances of number 4, Arrow Lane, for Stephen Falk. Although it was a really good win last time out, beating Columbia at Gawler. Prior to that, it was 1.2 lengths off Bold Star. So just the way that the race pans out, I think this horse will get a really nice run, paying $2.80. I think it can get across the outside barrier, if not sit just in behind the speed and get the perfect run of the race. So I'm happy to have it on top. Number 4, Arrow Lane, in race number 4 at Morphettville. Moving on into race number 6, and I do like a horse called number 4, Etna. Now this horse paying nice odds here. It's first up. Look, it probably is looking for a little bit further than the mile, but I do think it can, if it runs up to its performances last prep, it can really give this race a shake. And I just think that the soft track stats are really good, so it's going to get through the going. We know that it's had 8 starts on the soft goings for 2 wins and 5 placings. Jack Martin gets 2 kilo claim, so it will be carrying 56 kilos. Look at the speed map. I do think that it'll get a really nice run of the race. Might be a sit out just in behind the speed, maybe midfield, get a bit of cover and bounce, swoop over them late. So I'm really keen on number 4, Etna, at nice each way odds of $15 in race number 6 over the 1600 metres. Now onto the Tab Lightening Stakes. Now looking at the speed map here, we of course see Behemoth return after a luckless Goodwood behind Dispatch. Sorry, that was right. That was it was a cracking race. That was a good run by the big boy. He's a massive unit. So keen to see it back. Look, I'd say Exalted Marine and Assertive Approach will be forward. Bold Star will try and get forward from the inside barrier as well. Takia Time and risky, that's how you say it, will be quite forward as well. Now look, this horse for me really did catch my eye, and it's Sandown run a couple of weeks ago. It returned, beat Mockery brilliantly at the Hillside Track, and it's number 10, Excessive Funds. Now it's a 2-year-old coming into this race with some 3-year-olds, but that run was just so good in my eyes, and it's mapped to get a really good run once again. And that turn of foot that it produced is a real X factor. I think this horse got a lot of ability, and I'm happy to have it on top in the Lightning Stakes at $6.50 and $2 a place. So that's race number 7. Number 10, Excessive Funds in the Lightning Stakes at $6.50 and $2 a place. I just think that it's got a little bit of X factor, and it'll be really sharp over the 1,050 metres compared to some of those who might be looking for a bit further, who I do think Behemoth, as an example, will be looking for a bit further and might just be caught out first up over the sharp distance of the 1,050 metres. Looking at race number 8, I also like the chances of number 11, Rock the Bowler. This horse paying some nice odds. Last time out was only 0.9 lengths off Supreme Harmony. I liked how it charged the line there at Bendigo. Prior to that was just never came off from the back in the Shaw Knee race at Flemington, but prior to that it was really good wet being demilitarised at the synthetic track at Pakenham. I think this horse got a bit of a good chance at $10 odds with Zach Spain in the saddle. So if you have a look at the speed map, a lot of speed in it, so I'll get the chance to come on from the back. So that was race number 8, number 11, Rock the Bowler at $10 odds. Just recap the numbers at Morphettville. So I do like in race number 3, number 3, Deep Force. See if we can link that up into Caesar and the Bletchingly at Caulfield. I think we'll get a nice return there. Race number 4, Arrow Lane at $2.80. Race number 6, number 4, Etna at $15 and $3.90 the place. That's one of my better value bets for the Morphettville card. Also another good one at odds is number 10, Excess Funds in the Lightning Stakes, race number 7, number 10, Excess Funds. And in race number 8, number 11, Rock the Bowler. So that's my preview of Caulfield and Morphettville tomorrow. Good luck if you're playing. And we're pretty unlucky during the week at Sandown and Canterbury. Had a massive string of placings. We hope to turn that around here on Saturday. So good luck and happy punting on the weekend.